Subsequent to that is a strong residual disability definition or partial disability definition. The majority of clients I deal with have some period of time where they've been suffering an injury or sickness that has caused them to reduce their work capacity. And the beauty of a partial disability or residual disability rider is that it will say, due to injury or sickness, you have a loss of time or duties and a qualifying loss of earnings. And within that, that person, that physician, is able to work to the extent they're medically capable of. And as their income decreases when they hit the qualifying loss threshold in the policy, the benefit is then triggered and provides them with a benefit, whether it's proportionate or some other calculation dictated in the policy. They have that income coming in supplementing their loss. Where we see other complications is if someone has a modified own occupation policy and they don't have a residual disability policy and they're still working in their occupation, they would not be eligible for a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really crucial that when you're thinking about an individual disability policy, you have the true ONOC definition and you have a very strong residual disability definition as well.
Yeah, and we see too, so as you mentioned before, the waiting period.
Mm-hmm.
Say the standard we normally see in individual policies, 90 days, right? If you're a physician with a guaranteed contract, your income doesn't fluctuate until maybe contract's up for renewal or they want to get rid of you, whatever the case may be. What some of these clients don't realize if they dig into the policy language is depending on that threshold for residual disability and how it's defined, they may have a reduction of time or abilities, no reduction of income, but they can start eating away at that elimination period. And potentially the day they have a loss of income is the day they're entitled to payment.
So that's a great point. And I've worked with clients over the years that have stacked coverage where they'll have policy A that does have during the elimination period, it can be satisfied with loss of time or duties without requiring the loss of earnings, where policy B has loss of time or duties plus the loss of earnings.
Mm-hmm.
And in this specific case, because of that definition under policy A, it had, if you were totally disabled before this date, that your benefits were extended to age whatever, or a number of months. It wasn't specifically a birth date. So with policy A, this was a case where the doctor was on a set salary that was reconciled year end based on RVUs and production. And he had an issue that popped up in January. And he started reducing his work activity through July when he was eventually totally disabled. Things got really bad for him and he had to stop. And what ended up happening again is policy A, the day that he stopped working, even though he didn't have a loss of income prior, we satisfied the elimination period with the RD definition, residual disability definition,
Mm-hmm.
and the elimination period. Policy B required the loss of earnings, so he had to wait another 90 days on policy B before the benefits kicked in. So definitions matter. And there are certain ways, and again, in this industry, it's not a one size fits all. There are a lot of things that your clients have to weigh when considering it. But to that point, the strongest and best definitions are there for a reason.